Hey guys, it's Alom, and today I'm going to be doing a tour of my Minecraft creative world that I've been working on for over a year. Now, what you're seeing around right now is the first area of the world that I worked on. This right here is the very first part that I worked on the day I created this world. This is the first big house that I built, which I started working on just a couple days after I started this world. It's the bedroom with the custom heads, the banners. And this is supposed to be a game room. I haven't really touched this since around when I started this world. And these are these smaller bedrooms. These are the side bedrooms. I don't know. I don't know what to call them really. I still haven't done anything with this room yet, or this one. This is the map room. And see, I haven't updated. I don't know if I've updated this in a while. Okay, actually, let's update this one. Actually, we're pretty far away from there. Actually, we're pretty far away from there, so I'm gonna have to fly over to update it. There. Alright. This is the mansion, the second one that I built in this world. The second house that I built in this world. In the entrance room of this house, I built this double staircase with a chandelier, glowstone and sea lanterns. This is supposed to be a dining room. And this is a bedroom. And this room is actually supposed to look like the study room in my house. A little bit. And this is another staircase leading up to the third floor. This is a game room. It's supposed to be a pool table. And this is some kind of thing where you try to hit the middle to get the diamond. And this is the map room. These are the maps we did of the main region. And that's the farming region, where we're going to get to in a while. And that's the South Ocean region that we haven't worked on too much, obviously. We're going to get to it in a little bit. As well. I don't think I built an entrance into the topmost part of the mansion, like a staircase or anything. So I'm just gonna have to break in. They're probably. Up here I mostly did like storage rooms. And I built most of this in around July of last year. Late July of last year. I'm still not quite done with either of these. And this beacon is supposed to look like a flame. Okay. Now this is the big port city that I worked on. I built this part in April of last year. Before it was just an inland city. But in August I started building this area over here that eventually turned into a marketplace. And throughout the months of October, November, and December last year, I built most of this whole area, including the bank in the middle of the city, and basically turned into a port city. It's supposed to be like a square. Tree there. There's the trees. And I still need to change some of these to sandstone. And this is the harbor. I built 2 ships so far, and planning to build another one. It's a lighthouse. Actually, there's a 3rd ship over here. this building here is supposed to be like an eatery. A restaurant. Actually, no, this building here is supposed to be like an eatery or a restaurant. This is a potion shop, obviously. In early December last year, I built this area. You see here with the fountain and the buildings all around. This is just supposed to be like a house and a shop, actually. Haven't done anything with the other side of this building yet. This is supposed to be actually a construction shop, construction materials shop or something. This is supposed to be a grocery store. This is just another house. This is the entrance to the subway that I never finished. Let's get back. There, let's get back out. Okay. Yes. Okay. And this is the custom cave that I built, or at least the first one. There's a passage going down this way. Doesn't really lead to anything. There is this pipe that I built here. Let's go back up. This just leads into the base where I have all my custom heads I use in this world. You may have already seen a couple. And this is the cave base that I built around the very end of last year. And notice how in this late I used this stained glass trick to make it look like there is fog or something, to make it look like some kind of liquid actually. And this stream actually goes all the way down to the bottom of this cave. It'll be too dark. I'm going to show without using night vision. And this is actually supposed to resemble a real life cavern. I did a lot of other caves like that back in April this year. And this passage the custom end portal used to be here, but on April 17th or 18th I moved it somewhere else. Right, and now here's the custom nether portal. I decorated it with a bunch of nether blocks, including the ones that were added in the update a month ago. Alright, let's get out. Now let's get out of this cave. Over here you may have already noticed there's a forest biome. And if you go through it, if you follow this pathway through it, I still haven't put the leaves on these trees over there, and I still haven't built a lot of the trees here, and I still haven't finished the trees here. Anyway, if you eventually follow the path, you'll eventually get to the agricultural area. This over here is the first house that I built here. Started working on this area late March or early April of last year. This was the first farm that I built, the wheat farm. And there's the windmill here. I later added in these streams and the scarecrows. And there used to be a big house here, but I eventually got rid of it and replaced it with this house. That is actually very much like something I've seen in a video before. I built in my own world and made some changes. So I wasn't just exactly copying the video. And there's a map of this area. I don't know if I've updated in a while. Let's update it. Let's see. And it's turning night, so let's go into bed in this house. Sleep. Wow, we're 10 minutes in. Wow, we're 10 minutes into the video. we still have a lot to show in this world. I know over here I built more custom farms. Like there's the carrot farm, the pumpkin patch, the potatoes. This one is supposed to look like it's been harvested, and this one is supposed to look like it's been abandoned. There's a beetroot farm and another wheat farm. And this over here is the beekeeping area that I built right after the 1.15 update came out in December last year. And this is supposed to be like a container of honey. And this is a sugarcane farm, and there's another sunflower field. And this is actually, and this building here is a horse stable. Horse building. Stable. I haven't done very much with this area, obviously. But I built this pond on the very last day of last year. And the trees you see right here. This is supposed to be like a birch forest. I haven't built a lot of the trees still. And this is a barn and silo. The barn's been here since mid-July of last year. But I think the silo's been there even longer. And this is just the custom plains biome that I worked a lot on in the middle of last year. There's the stream here, the willow trees, and the leaves in the ground are supposed to look like plants. Oh, and back in the port city, I forgot to show all the interiors of the buildings, so let's go back and do that real quick. Let's go back and do that real quick. This is supposed to be a dye shop. This is the dye shop, but I haven't done anything in the interior yet. Make sure we went to the interior of that one. This is another archway, house with an archway that I built. Let's go inside. This is the main room. This is the main entrance from this house. Let's go upstairs. This is supposed to be the entrance to the second floor. There's a lectern here. And I use the looms a lot, so they look like shelves. And these are supposed to look like plants. And this is the bedroom. This is inside inside the arch, top the arch. And this is supposed to be a dining room. Is there a ladder? Yes, there's a ladder here. And this is the kitchen. I don't know why. There's where you should. Let's make an entrance from the lower floor. Actually, no. This is This is outside the house. Actually, no. It's outside the. Actually, no. That's outside the house. Actually, see why I didn't make an entrance here. No. All right. Wow, 13 minutes didn't make sense. Wow, 13 minutes. I haven't done anything to that building yet, but over here, I made this like game building. And I tried to make a game here where you would have the minecart land on a certain block, and it gives you a certain item. But I couldn't really do that. This is just a parkour. Wow, I failed my own parkour. Yeah, I still didn't do anything to the interior of these buildings. And this is the potion shop, which is actually one of the first buildings that I did in this port city. Back when it was just an inland city. I eventually took down where I built before and redid it. And that's what you're seeing now. And this is the city museum. This is a bunch of paintings. I wanted to make my own custom paintings, but it would actually be very tedious, since I would have to make 128 by 128 square blocks. And this is just a city park. Notice the oak and birch trees. These are smaller than the ones you saw in the forest biome. Go back. And this water feature actually resembles something that I remember seeing back when I lived in California when I was younger. And this is actually the garden of the mansion that I mostly did in December of last year. This is a lot of bamboo by the edge of the lake, and I actually did this to look like cattails. I put one or two green stained glass panes, and then a sea pickle on the top like this. And this is just an apple tree. This is an apple tree. And there. Now let's show the garden of the other house, which actually made larger than the other one. Which actually did more than the other one. So this is a lemon tree. It's a lime tree. This is just a custom oak tree to provide sort of a transition into the forest biome. This is a peach tree. Notice how in this lake I did the water feature with the bell thing, a couple sugar canes, more custom cattails, and there's a boat and thing here. It's supposed to look like a small boat. I actually put another pond here, but I didn't do much of it. I did put another water feature, but I didn't do much else. And this is supposed to be a cherry blossom tree. Alright, now we're done with that. Let's move on to this coastal area. This is actually one of the first ships that I built in this world back in May of last year. I'm now trying to recreate it over in the harbor that you saw earlier. And this beach house I built in like late February or early March of last year. This is the underwater house I built just after that. And this is a custom coral reef. Now I did most of this. Now this island was actually had a village before. I was going to start to redo most of it, but I never finished that. Over there is the custom mushroom biome. And I still haven't made a lot of the ocean floor here. But over here is the underwater city I built in August of last year. Most of it. This house is supposed to look like the head of a diver suit. I was gonna have 3 more things like that in this house, but I didn't finish them. And this is the big house that has these 4 things. It has these 4 pillars and a dome in the middle. And they're garden of coral stuff in the sides. Actually, I only did this one. Let's actually make the rest on camera. Let's bring out our tube coral. And let's bring out our... Where's the coral again? Oh, it's down here. We got our bubble coral. Now let's bring out our sea pickles. So you have some light. Let's go bam, 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 bam. There. Let's go bam, 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 bam. So where do we have the door? Or not the door, just the entrance in the other one. There's no door. So let's make another one here. Now let's go. Now let's go. Bam, 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 bam. That's what like this look, and let's put them there. This looks a little better. There. Let's bring out our fan. Now let's bring out our coral fans. Alright. Actually, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's move on to the. Actually, you know what? Let's move on to the desert city. And here's this is supposed to be like a shrine. And this is some dome house. I don't know what you would call it. Other than that, it's been there since mid-March of last year. Let's head over to the desert city real quick. That's just supposed to be a pavilion. And this I forgot to show earlier is the quarry. And this is the custom Savannah mountain range. There's only one big mountain I haven't really finished. I actually like to call this area the Savannah Highlands. You know, there's the desert city. And this building is supposed to resemble the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but a bit smaller, of course. And that over there is a custom desert temple that I started working on just this past weekend. And it's the marketplace, and that's like the merchant's house. Most of the buildings in the desert city right now are just houses. And the marketplace is again over here. Let's sleep the night real quick. And these are actually supposed to be custom, and these are actually custom palm trees. I haven't even made the terrain out here yet, but I have plans to build pyramids and a sphinx-like statue of sorts. And over here is the custom jungle biome that I worked on in mid-May of this year. Over here is the custom jungle temple. And these are obviously the custom large jungle trees, and these are the custom small jungle trees. This is supposed to be a mango tree. This is supposed to be another palm tree design. And this is a lime tree. Now again, I haven't really done much with the terrain in this area. I haven't done anything with the terrain in this area yet. But over here, I did the custom Badlands biome. This is the part that I worked on in March of this year. And basically, notice how this keeps going up and up and up, and eventually you stop here. And we have this huge canyon right here that I never finished. I started building in late April. And this is the bridge that is still important me support. Is there anything I missed? Oh yes, the custom village that I built. The custom coastal village that I built. And the swamp biome. This is the custom swamp biome that I was actually working on just a couple weeks ago. I haven't really done much with it yet. Never really finished it. And this is the custom village. I'm using the word custom way too much. This is the village that I built. This is the coastal village that I built and started building in early May and worked on just a couple weeks ago. And over here are some flower fields. And this actually goes into the custom taiga biome. And this over here, I never finished it, but it's supposed to be a close replica of the spawn in a Minecraft world that I had way back in March of 2012 to July of that year. Back in the old days of 1.2. It's one of my first worlds. And this is the custom mountain biome. There is the mountain village. And this is the mountain range, obviously. I made this little stream here. Trees. See. And this cliffside. And over here is the custom birch forest. And now this area probably looks a little familiar if you're watching my videos back in 2014 and 15. Because this is actually supposed to look exactly like the spawn in the worlds I had on Minecraft Pocket Edition back then. That's supposed to be a cart, and that's just supposed to be a small water lake. Is there anything I missed? Oh, yes. The ocean area. This is the forest pond I forgot to mention earlier. I built a fishing station and another. I think that was another fishing station. I don't know. This is the farming village that I started working on in May of last year. This is like an apple marketplace. Actually, not just an apple; it's fruit marketplace. These are smaller houses, and these are the larger houses. This is the blacksmith, and that's the church. And over here is a lighthouse. This is another seaside village that I worked on in April this year. And I also made this area that has like a bunch of islands. And one of them even has what's supposed to be an inn on top of it. And this beach here is actually supposed to sort of resemble a beach that I visited when I was little. It had a lot of caves on it. It's just a rock. Alright. See, is there anything I missed? Oh, yes. Sure, of course. This is actually another mountain area that I built with a lighthouse and a sort of coastal grassy area, and this waterfall house I built in early March last year. This is actually one of the first areas that I worked on in this world. Another one. And over here is going to be the custom glacier biome and the custom tundra biome, which I obviously didn't work very much on. And so yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for now. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel for more. And goodbye.